What's up everyone? Jordan here from Cinelinx.com. I am back today talking about one of my all-time favorite things. That is, of course, old video games. But I'm not talking about just any old video games. Today, I'm going to be talking about arcade games. And that's because Arcade1Up, the company behind those really cool replica cabinets over the last few years, has been kind enough to send me not just one, but two of their newest releases, including Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the old light gun game, and their newest The Simpsons bundle. Now, Arcade1Up has pretty much always brought the goods when it comes to their replicas. As such, I'm super excited to open these up. So let's go ahead and get to it, fire them up, and I'm going to tell you all about them. I'm not going to bore you with showing me putting them together. Suffice it to say that it's relatively easy. Like all of Arcade1Up's cabinets in the past, they're super simple to put together. If you've put together a bookcase or something like that on your own in the past, you can handle these cabinets. The instructions are really clear, super simple and easy. Takes maybe 30 to 40 minutes per cabinet, depending on it. Right off the bat, one of the things I love most about these newer cabinets that they have is that they include pretty much everything in the box itself. In the past, when you bought one of their cabinets, you would have to buy the riser that raised it up to a normal adult height, but now they're all included, so you've got everything you need here. The other really cool thing in regards to the Simpsons arcade cabinet, now this is not the first time they've put this cabinet out on the market. This is a newer, updated bundle package. Not only do you get the cabinet itself, the riser, but it also includes some extras that you can't get elsewhere, like the Simpsons stool. So you can actually put this in front of your cabinet, sit down and play to your heart's content. And it's all themed, looks nice. On top of that, you also have this swanky Simpsons sheet metal poster. I mean, it's just cool. It doesn't actually add to the gameplay itself, but if you're setting up a game room, it's a really nice decoration to have in there, included in this package along with everything else. Out of the box, everything looks good. I love the style of these cabinets, but of course, what's really important to gamers setting up their rooms is going to be how well they play. Let's start off talking about the Simpsons arcade. I love the feel of the controls itself. I love how clear and crisp the LCD screen is. The buttons here have just the right amount of clickiness in response to them, as well as the right amount of give in the joystick, so it feels like you're playing those old school arcades, almost like I'm back in the day when I was waiting at Pizza Hut for my pizza and this was there. So it's really nice to have that feel to it. It's one of the things I really like this time around, and it fixes some of the complaints I've had in the past, is you actually have some better control over the volume. This time around, it actually shows up the volume on the display. Before, it was just kind of this, wiggly button that never really felt like you had a whole lot of control over the volume, and it either got super loud or super quiet with nothing in between. On top of that, I really like that this cabinet also has a headphone jack, so you can plug in your headphones and listen to it without bugging anybody else, which is super nice. One of the big things with these new cabinets is that they have Wi-Fi built into them. You don't have to do anything extra other than set up the Wi-Fi. This gives you access to the leaderboard, but the really cool thing is how you'll be able to play with other people in co-op mode who have this cabinet. Everybody remembers how punishingly difficult this game can be, but you can go into the settings and you can give yourself extra lives and adjust the difficulty. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be something for everybody, but it's nice to have that option where you can adjust the things and play the way you want to play, especially if you have little kids in the house that just want to hop in and have fun without pulling their hair out. On top of including the original Simpsons arcade game on here, they also have a second game for players to go with, the Simpsons bowling game. And it's weird. I can't say that it's a very fun game. This is a neat one that you can play with multiple people. But again, I don't know how many times you're really going to want to play this one. But it's kind of frustrating how long everything takes. It looks great, especially for the time period in arcade games. But God, it's a pain in the butt. Just look at this. Look at this. Start your approach. Ugh. But look how slow it is. It takes forever to get there. And it's pretty much the same, throughout the whole game. Doesn't matter which character you choose. They all move at this ridiculously slow pace. So yeah, the bowling aspect is not as fun. It's neat to have it included in there, gives it some extra value, and it's nice to have that piece of history that you can still play. I just don't see us playing it all that much. It's just super slow. It's hard to get into. While the ideas are there, it's just not as fun a game as, the original Simpsons arcade, even 30 years later. Alright, so now let's talk about the Terminator 2 Judgment Day arcade cabinet. Now, this is not the first light gun game that Arcade1Up has done, but obviously this is going to be one of the ones with the broadest of appeal. Terminator 2 arcade game also launched back in '91, developed in tandem with the movie, included the movie actors in digitized forms here, which was a big deal back in the day for licensed games, and it is still one of the most revered old school light gun arcade games around. I love the look of this one. There's a bit more detail that goes into the cabinet this time around. There's detail on the screen itself, of course the light up marquee. These are just nice little enhancements that bring that whole arcade experience together. And of course the cool thing is it's all controlled via the light gun here. From the outset, what you're going to want to do, and it gives you the option to actually calibrate the light guns here, and it's easy to do, and I highly suggest that you do it. Otherwise, when you first fire it up right out of the box, the sights are going to be everywhere. But once you get it calibrated, it's really pretty intuitive. Like the other one, there's the online option, but there's no co-op play or anything with the Terminator one, unlike the Simpsons one. Instead, it is just about having the leaderboards up there. Lots of cool details in here. There's a little making of thing. For video game fans, it's just kind of neat to have this extra on there, the little bit of history that goes into it. That's something that you don't normally get with these type of cabinets. It's really nice extra to have. It's a cool little bonus. One of the really cool things about this arcade cabinet is that it gives you a whole bunch of different settings that you can adjust here. Of course, you can change the difficulty level, so you can make it harder, you can make it easier, you can give yourself more energy, life as you go, even the bombs. You can even change the level that you start on, so that if you've been going through and you don't want to replay level 1 and 2 again over and over and over, you can actually go to one of the higher levels. As far as the gameplay goes, it feels just like those light gun cabinets that you see at in arcades. The coolest thing about it though, when you're playing, you just listen to this. Do you hear that? I mean, it sounds just like the light gun and on the original arcade game. It's crazy. It sounds so cool. I love it. And it even has the feedback feel to it. So when you're pulling the trigger and that clickiness is going on, you can feel it. It's impressive how they've managed to nail that feel on this type of scale. I love it. But of course, if you're playing in the middle of something, it can get annoying if there's other people in the household and stuff. So it's really nice that this actually includes a mute switch, so you can mute the sound effect and the vibration that goes on it. The other really cool thing about this that I enjoy a lot is that they actually give you a whole lot of chord on these controllers, as opposed to the Simpsons arcade, which felt cramped with multiple people. This one actually gives you and whoever you're playing with a little more room to spread out. That said, you don't want to get too far away, because one of the problems I've encountered is if you get too far off to the side, the light gun will go all kinds of crazy. It won't pick up. Not a huge deal, but definitely something that can be a little bit distracting and a little bit frustrating when you're in the heat of a moment. But it feels like such a minor gripe considering how impressive the experience is so far. From the gameplay to how they look, it's just an all-around great arcade experience, and I love having these in my room right now. And I've been spending a ridiculous amount of time trying to beat Simpsons once again, something I didn't think I'd be doing. Both of these cabinets come in at $699.99. So yeah, right at $700. While the price may seem a little bit steep, it's still ridiculously better than the several thousand you could spend trying to track down original full-size models of these these things, and those won't include the updated LCD screens and stuff like that to make sure that you can play them how you want to. So if you're a gamer, if you're a collector, if you love your retro games, there's definitely no reason to skip out on these. Arcade1Up has a lot of impressive options, and these new additions to their catalog are no different. Both of these models are available right now. It's their new models for the year. You can order them directly from their website online or through their retail partners. I'm going to throw some links down in the description below if you want to order yourself one. Well, I hope you enjoyed our review today of the Terminator 2 and the Simpsons arcade cabinet from Arcade1Up. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Until next time, keep it tuned here to Cinelinx.com for all your movie, gaming, and geek-related needs.